All right. So we just heard you perform a couple of songs for us. One was a cover. One was an original song. You said you hadn't touched that one in years, right?
Years. Yeah. I haven't done originals in a long time.
It sounded awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. So that was a lot of motivation to get those songs ready to go again. And I'll start bringing those out at some gigs. Thanks to you guys.
Yeah, no worries. I'm glad we were able to help you unpack that, and it just sounded so good. I'm glad that, we were able to get you on. So you go by JonDutchMusic, right?
Yes, JonDutchMusic. So a little story behind that. My name is Jonathan Vlietstra. Vlietstra is a Dutch last name. Back when I was in high school, 2000s, 2003, 4, 5, the Von Dutch brand became popular with the hats and Paris Hilton. And so my name was John and my last name was Dutch, not the word Dutch, but the ethnic. Yeah. So that became my nickname very quickly, John Dutch.
Heck yeah.
And so coming back to it, just started this live music gig about a year ago and figured I already have the logo figured out. The name's familiar, so it couldn't hurt keeping John Dutch. So went with JonDutchMusic. I actually have some hats I'll give out if someone tips me a 20. I'll throw them a hat.
There you go. Tip this man. Yeah. Get a hat.
It's there.
I love it.
So.
Oh, that's so cool. And is that about the time that you started getting into music? Was you were saying in high school?
So grew up, my dad was a choir director, so grew up around music, started trombone at 4th grade. Played that all through high school, started drums in a little garage band in high school. We did some parties and some clubs in high school, played the drums. Picked up guitar around 18, 19 when I realized that girls didn't like listening to trombone music serenade them. Guitar worked better.
There you go.
So
we got to figure out how, what's that one guy? He got the clarinet, how he does it.
Yeah. So I might bring in some trombone in 2024. That's my goal.
Ooh, all right.
If I make it there. So, but I got into that, started playing guitar since 19. I'm now 35, coming back to it. Just saw the opportunity once restaurants started opening back up here in Temecula after COVID. Well, actually, when we first moved out here about 5 years ago now, I actually ran into, his name's JD Priest. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's a popular guy out here, does all the wineries. And I saw him at an Italian restaurant up by the French Valley Airport. And we kind of pressed the reset button on life, my wife and I. We just had a 1-year-old son and was restarting everything out here in Temecula and just in a dreaming phase. And we went to dinner with my in-laws and we were sitting there. I was watching him play and covering all these songs I loved and I hadn't heard in years. And I told my mother-in-law, I said, I think I can do that. Like that might be something fun to do. And I went and talked to him on one of his breaks and he just gave me a few little pointers, in between songs. So about 20 seconds of wisdom. Like, hey, just
that's all you need sometimes.
So that kind of sat in my head for, we moved out right before COVID. So all of COVID, not really did any movement, but coming out of COVID, like, hey, maybe there's an opportunity to do this. Connecting to my first gig, which was up in Big Bear. My sister owns a donut shop up there called Dank Donuts. So shout out to Dank Donuts. You got to check that out.
Donuts are my kryptonite. I love donuts.
If you shoot up to Big Bear, check out Dank Donuts. Anyways, she had this dream of owning a donut shop. And so I've actually been watching my younger sister chase her dream. And it was the snowboarders hangout place. It's right off of the Bear Mountain Ski Resort. So I watched her dream come true.
That's
and
awesome.
Watched her open her own business and just killed it. And I always said, if you ever get that shop, like that's where my first gig will be. I'd love to just play music at your shop in the corner. So a year passed, she had the restaurant, another year passed and she's like, you promised me you're going to play. And so I finally set a date. We went up there in the summer. They had a Taco Tuesday event. Got up there.
Taco Tuesday at a donut shop? That sounds wonderful.
That's all. They serve some adult beverages in the afternoon.
That's a dream.
It's a great spot. So check it out.
One more time. Check out Dank Donuts. Yes.
They'll take care of you.
Awesome.
So heading up there. Again, didn't have a sound system or anything, so I was running my voice through an amp, my guitar through an amp. I had another guitar that I was doing distortion on for little solos on the loop pedal and just all this gear for a little, hour and a half performance. And while I was up there, I asked, is anyone who's the locals here? People raised their hand. Who's vacationing here? And people said, oh, we're from Temecula. I said, I'm in Temecula. And they're like, oh, well, where do you play in Temecula? I said, nowhere. It's my first show. And they said, well, we know the owner of one of the Italian restaurants down in Temecula.
Wow.
And you should definitely play there. They're looking for live music coming out of COVID. And that was my first gig over at Tricino's. Shout out to Tricino's in Wildemar.
Gosh, I'm so hungry now after this conversation.
Yeah, awesome Italian restaurant. Tricino's kind of gave me my first break here in Temecula. Some videos got out from there, and a few wineries picked me up, a few restaurants, a few private events, some weddings, and coming up on basically 1 year finished, and keep getting some gigs, and excited to see where this goes.
Heck yeah. That's awesome. And it's really cool how you can, just if you open your mouth and talk about things, how stuff kind of comes to you, right? So who would have thought, like, someone from Temecula,
that's fun,
going out, getting all that. That's really cool. So you're playing a lot of wineries right now, doing a lot of events like that?
Yeah, doing a lot of events. Just had I did a New Year's party where I was originally hired from 6 to 9. At 9, she said, well, can you play till 10? At 10, she said, well, can you play till 11? At 11, she said, well, we got to take us to midnight.
Yeah.
So,
and at 12 o'clock, she's like, do you know how to play Old Lang Syne?
Exactly. So I had it prepared just in case. I did it on the East Coast, 9 o'clock. I played the song, and they said, well, we want to hear that at midnight. So
there you go.
Anyways, my first 7-hour gig on New Year's, that was a great little spot. But that leads me to, I do have about 7 hours worth of music prepared for anyone looking to hire. About 350 plus songs, all different genres, all different decades. What I do with people who book me for weddings and these private events, I'll send them my whole playlist, a full spreadsheet, 350 songs arranged by decade and then by ABC order, so they can just find, I want some 80s, and bam, there's 25 songs. They can pick their playlist, and so they know basically their whole custom playlist. They know what's playing for the night. And so I have a lot of fun doing that, and at my gigs, I'll lay out that same sheet, and people can just yell out songs, and I tell them, I'm here for you guys. You guys can pick your own music.
Wow.
and I'll play it. So it's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. I feel like a lot of artists are more like, play Freebird. You're like, no. And you're more like, welcome it. Like, come on, pick it, know?
With Freebird, that is not one on the list, which goes to my first rule. If it's on the list, I can play it. If it's not on the list, I can't play it. Yeah. But with 350 songs, they're bound to find something they like. So
that is awesome. And then you were playing on that 12 string right there, right?
Yeah.
How long have you been playing 12 string?
Yeah, so that was my first guitar back when I was about 19.
Wow.
19 or 20. That was one of my birthday presents, and I was able to take pretty good care of it. It's lasted till this time. Just had a little bit of work done by Michael Anthony, again, local guy here in Murrieta. So Michael Anthony works on guitars for all you musicians out there, but did some great work. And he said, I'm ready to go another 15 years without needing anything done. So I love the 12 string. Again, I before this, I was working with a lot of kids camps up in Big Bear, week-long retreats and things like that. So I wanted something I could play out in the middle of the forest, real loud. Kids are singing these fun songs along.
So you were teaching music out there?
Yeah, some music. Just activity directors, just having fun with kids, teaching them life skills, life lessons. So 10, 15 years of working with thousands of students from South LA, Compton, Paramount area is where we were living, Bellflower to be specific, but North Long Beach. And with that, just a huge mix of cultures coming from all different walks of life. And so again, going back to music, I have R&B, I have country, I have the pop stuff, I have the acoustic rock, I got the folk, because that's what I grew up in. I grew up in a variety of cultures coming together in that North Long Beach area, South LA, and that's what I'm comfortable with. So that's what you're going to get if you come to a gig.
That's awesome. Yeah, like I was telling you a little bit before this, I had my music out in Anaheim area. So, there's just so many meshes of cultures in that area. And that's something that we're trying to almost disrupt here in Temecula, you know, by providing a space for artists to come in, sit down with us, get a couple of songs recorded, and then, have a nice conversation afterwards, and really just put Temecula on that map. We're right in the middle of San Diego and LA, so kind of becoming that destination spot for artists coming through in the middle of their tours. And then like the wineries are just beautiful. I mean, you chose an awesome venue to be playing at. They're just gorgeous, especially those like sunset, you know?
Yeah, there's always a moment in my gigs, any place, even if it's a restaurant or on the street, but it's like time stands still for like 5 seconds and I get to say, wow, I get to do this, you know? And for example, one of the new restaurants down in Old Town, 4th Street Garage, another shout out.
There we go.
4th Street Garage, go check it out. But where you play, there's an open lot in front of you. There's City Hall to the left, all nice lit up at night. And there's Old Town down to the right. And so you have classic cars sitting there. And I'm just sitting there playing music, staring at all that for 3 hours. And I'm the lucky one.
Exactly.
I'm so thankful that these different wineries, restaurants will have me. And I just, I see it all as a gift right now. And it's just a lot of fun. So, well, hope to keep doing it in 2023, 2024, and see where it all goes.
Is that your big goal? What is your goal going into this next year, really, with your music, with your career?
Yeah.
Have you thought about all that?
Yeah. Like I said, for 2024, because this is just too crazy, I'm going to get the trombone out. So that's kind of a silly goal, but I was already testing it. I put a little preview up on my social media at JonDutchMusic.
Check them out.
At JonDutchMusic. But yeah, for 2023, just obviously being faithful to the people who have already given me a chance, saying yes to their gigs. But obviously expanding. And so getting more into that winery scene, connecting. I just recently did a bridal expo where I was showing all my love songs for the bride and grooms walking around, the private events. I love the birthday parties, things like that, where they can pick their own playlist. But I kind of seen where it goes. Like I said, I have a full-time job outside of this. So this is just fun on the side, experimenting right now, and see where it goes. Just make connections. I actually run a once a month group called Being Human. And so we just gather in the backyard and kind of get away from all the things that separate us and come to the one thing that unites us, which is just we're all humans. And so it's actually starting this month, instead of meeting in our backyard, I'm just inviting them out to one of the restaurants. While I'm doing a gig, I'll meet with them beforehand. We'll stick around, have some drinks, and just getting people together over music. I tell people I sell nostalgia, especially if you're in your 30s and 40s. That's what I'm trying to bring you right back to that high school, middle school time. And you could go right. It's crazy how music does that. You can go right back to the way you felt. For me, for example, the song Sugar Ray, I Just Want to Fly, that came out when me and my buddies would jump on the trampoline every day. Right? So,
you're bouncing each other and you're like,
I just want to fly.
That's so
100%, 100. So we're out there. I just want to fly. There's other songs. I think back to my first, I had a yellow kind of this far off the ground Chevy truck that I'd roll around in and scrape the bottom out, but just, windows down. I didn't have AC. Just bumping some music there. So a lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming in. Thanks for,
you guys.
Letting us use up some of your time and just blessing us with, the awesome sound that you have.
Yeah. Thank you.
And you shred that 12-string guitar.
Thanks, man.
So good.
All right.
And then people could find you, JonDutchMusic, Instagram.
People get confused. JOHN. No, JON. Jon.
Jon.
Yeah, just like Von Dutch, just replace the V with the J. JonDutchMusic, all one word, on Facebook and Instagram. And you can hit me up at JonDutchMusic@gmail.com for booking. So
perfect.
Real simple.
Yeah, we'll make sure all the links are in the description down below. We'll make sure we tag you in all this fun stuff too. And then, I can't thank you enough for really just blessing us with your music, talent, and time.
I'll talk about you guys. You guys are doing a great job here.
Thank you.
So you can put that on a social media post too. And everyone who's out there should come and take up this opportunity because this is awesome. You guys are starting something great here.
Thank you.
So
thank you.
All the best to you guys.
Heck yeah. Appreciate it, man.
All right.